Welcome, everybody. Thank you for your patience as we're getting going here. We're going to wait another few seconds here to let everyone make it in from the waiting room. As people are coming in and getting connected, please make sure you stay muted during presentation to keep people from having issues of talking over and interrupting. We are still waiting for the amazing Chip Candy to make his presence known. So make sure you give him a really bad time after this. That's kind of our jobs here. And so today we're so glad to have so many experts in the field here to give insight over this past year of kind of this state of phys ed as it is now. So what we're going to do as we're waiting for Chip to make his great entrance here still, we're going to have the panelists go ahead and introduce themselves at this time. So for panelists, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and that's how you're going to know it's your turn. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Kim Morton, and I'm at Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, I'm Wendy Hatley. I'm with Mesquite ISD in Mesquite, Texas. We're a suburban area right outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Hi, everybody. I am Dave Blackney. I am a teacher at Pioneer Middle School in Tustin, California, and starting my 29th year.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Kari Orendorf. I work at Montana State University, currently working at Montana State University, but I did do K-12 for 18 years, mainly in the Southern California area.
What's up, friends? My name is Ben Landers. I have been teaching, going into my 15th year in South Carolina, and I teach K-5 elementary school. I also run a website at thepespecialist.com to create resources for PE teachers.
Hey, I'm Mark Housel. I'm a PE teacher in New Jersey, Marlton, New Jersey. It's Philadelphia, New Jersey. I don't know one person who says New Jersey. Just saying, I've been teaching in New Jersey for 23 years, and I run a group called the New Jersey PE Crew, and that's what Chip wanted to talk to me about today. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So now we are going to get the one and only, as soon as he gets connected. Chip has made it in.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. There was a major problem. He gave me the wrong link. So I've been trying to get in. All right, so let's get started fast. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's good. So the idea here today is to talk to some famous physical educators from around the country and find out what's going on with them, how they're doing, but more importantly, get some inspiration, hopefully, going into the new year. So we have 6 people. What I'm going to do is introduce them one at a time and give you a little background, and then I'm just going to turn them loose, and hopefully we'll be able to go a little bit longer. So the first person up you see right there in front of you is my good, and by the way, before I even start, the fun part about this for me is these are 6 good friends of mine, so I'm really excited about that. So the first person up is Mr. Dave Blackney, so he's going to unmute himself. Dave has been in teaching for 29 years. That's why he looks as old as he does. He's at Pioneer Middle School now. He was the California Teacher of the Year for the Governor's Council and got to shake Arnold's hand. And he said, what did he tell you?
Arnold looked me in the eye and he said, "You're doing a fantastic job with the kids."
For those of you who have never seen him present, he might be the best presenter, one of the top 2 presenters in the entire country, I think. He's been to EPEW 5 times, and whenever he presents, I definitely go. Wendy Hatley, you've seen him before. He's been to your school district in Texas. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Dave one question. He's going to get about 6 minutes to answer. The thing that impresses me most when you go to a session of his is he sets an atmosphere. He sets a tone for his class. How do you do it? Go.
Okay, well, first off, I got my little signs here like I always do. Culture is about relationships. So when you are at the beginning of the year, if you're starting in person soon, you have to set a tone for the year, all right? And we have to articulate our values and our expectations, all right? And those things lead to creating the relationship which set the tone. So for myself, I am so looking forward to the time when I can look at those kids that are sitting in the bleachers and welcome them and tell them what a great year that we're going to have. And we're going to talk on the first day about expectations. So the expectations are energy. Okay, come with energy, be prepared, and value every moment. Now here's the twist. Those are the expectations they should have of me. Okay, that's what I tell them. I'm going to do this every single day. That's what you can expect from me. Those are the expectations. Now we have two main values in our class. Two main values. Okay, one is team and a family. The second one is no zombies. All right, and no zombies means this is all related to how we are going to move and how we are going to play. Team and a family is all about how we are going to take care of one another. So there's a certain vocabulary that we begin and uncover as the year goes on. So words that are related to team and the family that I'm going to talk about all the time: unselfish, honest, respectful, appreciative, humble, loyal, trustworthy, encouraging, caring. When we speak about no zombies, remember, this is how we are going to move. This is the effort level that we're expecting. These are the words that we talk about: hardworking, competitive, focused, accountable, resilient, confident, energetic, disciplined, motivated, positive. So how would this look in class? Well, what it would look like is, let's say we're doing a lesson on forearm pass in volleyball. So I would instruct the kids take their volleyball. Hopefully they're working with only one other person. They go practice. I'm moving around. At the end, when we come to closure, I'm going to say something like, you know what, I want to highlight these two right there because I noticed how encouraging they were to each other. Okay, or I'm going to say, this group over here, incredible how unselfish they were in taking turns. So those are the kinds of things that how our values play out in our class. So let me give you two quick strategies that you can use to create relationships. Remember, culture is all about relationships. Okay, the next 5 minutes. What is the most important part of my day? The most important part of my day is the next 5 minutes. Excellence is a short-term strategy. Okay, anybody can be the teacher of the year for the next 5 minutes. I always think that my job is to be in the right place at the right time to say the right thing to the right person. Guess what? I can't do that if I'm sitting at my desk. I will take I will watch the line waiting for the kids for the bell to ring. I will supervise the blacktop because guess who's out there? It's the kids. How long does it take me to write a note of appreciation? I have these little cards. This is for Giselle. I wrote it to her on 9/20. Unfortunately, she stayed online all year. I can't wait to meet Giselle in person and give her this. So anyway, that's how I use the next 5 minutes. I constantly go, okay, what positive thing can I do in the next 5 minutes? It's too burdensome to think, how am I going to do this all day? So that's one strategy that you can use. Constantly challenge yourself to be active and moving. And the only time I want to see my seat is at lunch. Okay, the next one, mudita. Now, mudita is a Sanskrit word, and it means vicarious joy for another person's success. It is the opposite of envy. Okay, it is the opposite of envy. Now, we watch little videos, and I tell little stories leading into all of this stuff, so they have an idea of what it is. This is how we use it. I use mudita at the end of a class, and once again, I'm going to highlight things that I've seen. I've seen them improve. I've seen them demonstrate the character skills that we want. And I will do this for about a month, and then I turn it over to the kids, and we close every lesson with the kids doing mudita, which means they're talking about something positive they see in somebody else. This not only builds relationships with the teacher, but it builds relationships with each other. You know, I mean, I think that we all want to be part of a group that works. We want to be part of a community, and this is one of the ways that we do it. Lastly, okay, I really believe that physical education has the power to change the world. Okay, it may only be that 2 minutes that we have that kid. Okay, but that period that we have that kid. But you know what? They're going to leave us, and hopefully we leave a lasting impact on them. How do we do it? We set high expectations, we share our values, and then we personally try to live up to it every single day. Last thing, we say this all the time as a group. Sometimes we say it together. We do it in a little sing-song way. Every day, every way, better, better, and better. And what that means is, can I be a better brother, a better sister, a better musician, a better athlete, a better person? Okay, those are the kind of things that we're working for. And I really believe if we focus on those things, what'll happen is we increase their performance in physical education. And Chip, that is how, a couple of strategies on how to create a culture that works.
You're still muted, Chip.
So also, I like your line about never letting the students' energy, what?
Okay, now that is one of the truisms of teaching. Okay, the enthusiasm of the class can never rise above the enthusiasm of the teacher. And I always think of it when I come out and I jog out because I want them to see. And by the way, they can hear my words, but they'll feel my attitude. And that is really true because they will see what I'm doing. And if I'm out there giving fist bumps and I'm hustling, and as Chip says, I am getting older. If they can see the old man doing it, those kids can sure do it too.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Mr. Blackney. You're doing a good job with those kids. All right. Next up, this is kind of fun. We have Wendy Hatley. Now, Wendy's been in the business here for 24 years. She graduated with a degree in physical education, but actually was in the classroom for 10 years. She then went into elementary phys ed, was there for 7 years, and she is now the PE and health coordinator for Mesquite. I'm representing, you notice the shirt.
Oh, I noticed it. I noticed it.
For the Mesquite ISD, which is, for those of you who are not from Texas, is the independent school district. A little bit about Mesquite. 40,000 students, 51 campuses, 51 schools. Their football stadium holds 20,000 people. I've seen it. It's absolutely monstrous and cooler than heck. 8 high schools, 10 middle schools, 33 elementary schools. This is not an easy job. But I can tell you right now that doing work for her is like just a joy because she's involved in everything and her staff love her. I can tell you right now, she knows this. Her staff love her. So what I'm going to ask you, what do you want from your staff going into this year? Because hey, it's been a tough couple of years here. What do you want to see your staff do going into it? And I know you have your big PE in-service coming up soon. So what do you want to see? What are you looking for this year?
Well, first thing, I think that I want to recognize COVID and the effects that it had. And I think a lot of people everybody's in such a hurry that everybody was sick of COVID. Everybody was sick of the pandemic. Some people just kind of want to pretend it didn't exist and just get back to life. I think I'm going to make a real effort this year to meet my staff where they are and encourage them to meet our students where they are. You know, I referred to us as a suburb of Dallas, but we're a very urban area. And so there's going to be a lot of lasting effects for our kids who saw school as a safety zone and didn't have that safety zone and were trapped at home for months on end in some situations that were not healthy. And so I think some of our students are going to have some long-term effects from not being exposed to school and not being exposed to education. I also think that some of our teachers really struggled through the pandemic. And so I think we have to realize that we have to meet our students and I have to meet our teachers where they are now. Some of our teachers are going to be so thrilled to be back face to face that they're going to jump in with both feet and they're just going to want to go 90-0 from day one. And then I've got some teachers that they kind of settled they were encouraged not to do a lot, to not do a lot of group games and interaction. They were encouraged to keep kids on their exercise spots and try to run PE from there. And I think some of our teachers settled into that. And so I think for them, we're going to have to encourage them to get back to full-blown, fully engaging PE. And so we're going to kind of have to take an assessment. I'm going to encourage my teachers, first of all, to see where the students are. I think a lot of our students are that SEL part, the socialization part, the learning to cooperate and work with others. I think a lot of them are going to struggle with that because they haven't had to do that in a year. And so I think we're going to have to really work on that teamwork, getting along, cohesiveness kind of thing. And then I think the one thing that we all have to face is that these kids, for the most part, in this area, these kids in this urban area where it's not always safe to go out and play and we don't get to ride our bikes outside all day and all that stuff, they're going to be in poor physical shape. And so I think we really have to work on, in staff development, we will work with our teachers on some basic lead up games to ease these kids back into it, because I think it's going to take a while. I think it's going to, we talk about that summer slide where the kids come back sometimes in August and they're out of breath really quickly and they're not used to being outside and, oh, it's so hot out here and I'm so tired. I think that's going to be have exponential effects, because instead of the summer slide, I think this year you're looking at the COVID slide. So I think we're really going to have to take that into consideration. But I also think we're going to have to retrain our teachers a little bit on meeting the kids where they are, evaluating where they are, and doing what's right for the kids, because this is, I learned to hate this word the last year, but this is unprecedented times. We're never going to see kids that have sat at home for a year. And whereas a lot of us, people I know that run in my circles, well, this summer, we've packed the bags and we've gone out and we've traveled and we've gotten out as much as we possibly could. And as soon as the travel bans were lifted, we were gone. For my kids in Mesquite that are urban kids in low income areas, they didn't pack their bags and go travel this summer. So they are still experiencing the long-term effects of COVID. They're still sitting at home. So they haven't, I think they'll be excited to come back to school. I think the kids in my area, especially who haven't had that socialization and haven't had the ability and the means to get out, will be so excited to get back. But I think getting them back up and moving and in a routine of exercise, I think it's going to be a challenge here. And we're going to have to really work with our teachers on excuse me, how to meet that challenge without turning the kids off to it, but also letting the kids know that, hey, I realize the last year was hard. I'd like to meet you there, and just help them get back in shape. But I think you have to, I don't think we can pretend that COVID didn't exist. I think we have to acknowledge it. Excuse me. And we have to move forward based on that.
Yep. Sounds good. I agree. And so you're very, very, very good at setting a climate with your teachers. What do you think? Are they excited to go back?
I think for the most part, yeah. I think my teachers, if they had to do one more virtual lesson,
yeah.
I think I had to bury some of them. They are so ready to, one of them told me that she said, I didn't think I would ever miss the smell of my gym. And she said, I miss the smell of my gym. All those sweaty bodies coming inside, filing past me. She said, I miss that. And she said, I never thought I'd say that. She said, I cannot wait to see those sweaty children in my gym again.
Nice, nice. All right, well, we're looking forward to what's going on in your district, and that's some good stuff. All right, next up, we have Mr. Mark Housel. Mark Housel is an elementary teacher in Marlton, New Jersey. For those of you who don't know where Marlton, New Jersey is, well, it's in South Jersey someplace. His school is about, what do you think, a couple hundred yards from my school, from my house. I can walk to his school. He walks to his school. It's right down the street from his. He lives right around the block from me. Fast Mark in because not only is he a tremendous elementary school physical education teacher and has been for quite a while, he's the 2020 New Jersey Shape Elementary Physical Education Teacher of the Year. And by the way, that was long, long overdue. He has his own company called Housel Fun and Fitness, where he does all kinds of clubs and programs all over the place. In fact, he just got finished one. He's joining us from the woods someplace, but he just got finished one. He's presented at all of our conferences here in New Jersey and outside of New Jersey. He just became an adjunct faculty member at Monmouth University. And he did something over this COVID that I think is very, very, very exciting, positive, and is going to have a lasting impact here in New Jersey. So, Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy. Take it away.
All right. Thanks, Chip. Chip's my walking buddy. I don't know many people out there that have a better walking buddy than me. They talk about success leaves clues. Dr. Gilbert's I'm a huge fan of his from Montclair State University. And I've been honored to have been, the first two workshops. I went to William Patterson University. The first two workshop presenters they brought in were John Smith and Chip Candy. And, here in New Jersey, I've been around some of the best, and I've always wanted to try to like pass that on. So a couple of years back, we started the South Jersey PE crew. And basically what it was a couple guys and girls getting together, and they would come to my gym and we would talk PE and talk shop. And, it was awesome. It was great. And it was I wanted to move away from the devices. I wanted to get face to face with people because there's so much Twitter, there's so much Facebook, and to get in the same room with other PE teachers and talk about what's working, what's not was just something like my way, I guess, of giving back. So I got Eric Meyer, the 2018 PE teacher in New Jersey, elementary PE teacher of the year. I got him involved. I stalked Chip. I got him involved. And again, we were small and things were great. And then COVID hit. And then it was kind of like, I know a couple North Jersey teachers, so why don't we invite them in? And then we invited a couple more. And then I started to really go full on stalking people. And I got about, I think it's 15 former New Jersey PE teachers of the year, whether it's middle school, secondary, elementary, and we got quite an organization now. And when we're meeting, we meet one time a month, and we talk about everything. And sometimes we have guests. We've had Mark Damani, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Pat Vickroy, Mark Friedrich, Chip Candy. We had Dr. Rob Gilbert on there. Some months we don't have a special guest. We just get together and we talk. And you think about it. Some people, my district, we were sharing within cohorts right away. We were using equipment in September, and we had people in our PE crew that they weren't even allowed to sweat. They weren't even allowed to get their heart rate up. So you talk about teaching PE without being able to get your heart rate up, without being able to sweat, without being able to smile and have fun. And of course they made it fun because they're awesome. And the thing that I love best about this is these people from all over New Jersey. These are people I would see maybe once a month. Maybe once a year, maybe at the state convention. Maybe we would see them at the awesome New Jersey Lake Conference. But now I'm seeing these people 10, 12 times a year. And I feel like it's really, really developed into a family. I think the main reason that Chip asked me to be on here with all these awesome people is this can be replicated so easily in your own states, Montana or Texas or wherever it is. This can be mimicked. We have, like I said, we have 15 teachers of the year in the state of New Jersey. We have retired people. We have future professionals and everyone in between. And I'm so proud of what we built. And COVID and Zoom completely blew our thing up. We will continue to have periodic meetings in person, but we'll also have our Zoom meetings as well. And, I don't know what else to say about it, except if you are in New Jersey and you are not part of our PE crew, now is your time. Just email me at njpecrew njpecrew@gmail.com. Again, that's njpecrew@gmail.com. If you're in another state and you want to talk to me about how I ran this, contact me. I would love to walk you through it. It really wasn't rocket science. So easy, even I could do it. So back to you, Chip. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and this really did affect so many people. There were so many people who got involved. And I thought the cool thing was there were some really young teachers who got involved, 1, 2, 3 years old. And you've now become like mentor to many of them. You know, I think of Max Rambo, who basically took my job. He was the guy that they brought in to take my job. And, you know, Max looks at you for all kinds of stuff now. So it's kind of cool that this thing is taken off. It's taken on a whole life of its own. It's really neat. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining us from wherever you, where were you this morning?
I was saying, I don't even know where I am. I'm in Horsham, Pennsylvania, but I pulled over some park somewhere, and I wouldn't miss it for the world, Chip. You are my man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you for being here.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Next up, we have Kari Orendorf, or should I say now, Dr. Orendorf. Dr. Orendorf just got her doctorate. She's a recent doctorate from South Carolina, from University of South Carolina, and she is an EPEW. She's one of the EPEW crew. She's been there a number of times. 27 years in education. She taught K to 12 physical education in Southern California, Arizona, New South Wales, Australia. She also taught at the University of Rhode Island, University of South Carolina, and she is now presently in a almost a full-time position finally at Montana State University. One of the cool things she does too is she leads trips to Africa every year, Tanzania. And she does that with her students, and she's been doing that for quite a while. So, Dr. Orendorf, we're going to invite you on here and ask you one question. And this is the question. What are you sending your students out now? I mean, what are you sending them out? If you could say, these are the 2 or 3 things I want my students to go out and do in physical education to make a difference, what are you sending them out with? Go.
Well, first of all, it is pronounced Tanzania if you're in Africa, so you
Right.
did have it right. When I first went there, my students went over there and they were actually telling the poor Tanzanians, I think it's actually pronounced Tanzania. And I'm like, they know what their country is called, leave them alone. But yeah, the one thing that and once again, thank you for asking me, thank you for having me. But the one thing that I want my students to go out with is practicality. Like I am the most, I wouldn't say I'm the most, I am definitely an unusual professor, because I don't spend a whole lot of time on theory. I don't spend a whole lot of time in book work. They do still have to write those like 8 pages worth of lesson plans. But I do teach them how to take their big lesson plans and make it actually realistic. But I want them to be able to go out with hands-on material that they know how to use and go and be ready to go. Everything I do, like a lot of my assignments are assignments that I used to give my students when I was a K-12 teacher. So that way my students will have examples when they go out and about. My students will have hard copies of everything that they're doing. I like beg, borrow, steal, liberate from any K-12 teacher that any assignment that they want to share. I try to incorporate as much real life K-12 into my program as possible. Currently, I am the only physical education teacher in the program. We have about 30 kids at Montana State University, and I have to make sure we go from, it was really hard for me because I taught in California where we had like 50 to 60. I had one class at 82 kids. They have whole schools that have just 82 kids in them. Like their graduating class is 5. I was like, what do you do with 5 seniors? I don't know. So I'm having to adjust all of my knowledge for rural to regular is what I call it. But I want them to have hands-on material, hands-on learning experiences. And I want them to realize that it doesn't end at college. You graduate and you don't know anything really. And you get into the field and you still have to go to conferences. So I try my hardest to get my kids to go to conferences, to go to professional development. And they see me trying new things. During COVID, I was given the choice to teach online or hybrid or in person, and I chose in person. I'm not fabulous online. So I chose in person, but I had to come up with ideas to teach them that they couldn't touch. There was no, I had a cooperative games class and I was like, how are we not going to like get close enough? Like the first day we do rock, paper, scissors activities and you have to be close for that. But so I got a hold of the rodeo team here and I said, hey, can you guys teach me how to rope? Better yet, can you come in and teach my class how to rope? Because if they know how to do that, they can then teach that. So my students saw me as a student learning something new. So I constantly am looking for new ways to incorporate, and I'm constantly looking for ways to show my students, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be great at it. You'll get great at it. I kind of have the same attitude that Dave does, bring in the enthusiasm. I always told my K-12 students, I will never ask you to do something that I could never do myself. I'm a little bit older now and my body is forsaking me quite a bit. And they're college kids, so they can do a lot more than I could do. So I do push them a lot more. They have to do stuff that I will say, no, you're not doing it right. And no, I can't show you how because my legs don't move that way anymore. But they're learning how to do things as hands-on as I can make it. So that's what I want my students going out into the field, knowing you don't have to be perfect. You do have to be active. You do have to get your kids active. And you have to be that teacher. Like you're kind of automatically that teacher as the PE teacher, but you're the teacher that the kids have more of a connection to than anybody else. So when Dave was talking about, making a family, it's hysterical because even in the university level, the first day I'm setting rules and expectations and I'm gelling my students together. They kind of go through as a cohort and like from the games and the activities and the assignments and we become this huge family, and I model as much as I can. I have an open door policy so they can come in whenever they need to. But I need my students to know that you're not just teaching movement. You're not just teaching motor learning. You're that teacher that the kids are going to come to when they're hungry and they want food, when they're sad, when they broke up with their boyfriend, when their boyfriend broke up with them, when they saw a movie that they liked, when they don't know what to do, they're going to go to PE. Something's going on, they're going to go to their teacher. So I try my hardest to get them to understand, never stop trying, always have fun with your kids no matter what. And you're not their friend, you're always their teacher, but you're still going to be that person that they go to. So that's what I'm hoping my kids leave with.
Nice. Good. Sounds good. All right. So from the great state of Montana, we're now going to go to North Carolina to another good friend of mine. This is Dr. Kim Cook. She is in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. CMS has 147,000 students. It may be more now. That's the number I got. 21 high schools, 32 middle schools, 106 elementary schools. Their budget is $1.6 billion. I said $1 billion. And I mentioned that because we're going to ask her a question about that in a second. She's been in it for 25 years, doctorate in educational leadership. She was the district teacher of the year. She was North Carolina's health educator teacher of the year. She has presented both locally through her state and also nationally. One cool thing about her is she's teaching in the heart of North Carolina, and she's from Buffalo, New York, or near Buffalo, New York. And the two guys that work with her, Kramer is from Connecticut, and Andrew is from Philly. So it's kind of a funny crew that's working down there in Charlotte, North Carolina. But these are three of my really good friends. So Kim, I'm just gonna kind of turn you loose here. What is going on in your district? What are some things you're doing? Tell us about pizza and PE, and you got to tell us about how you just got all that money for all of your programs. Go.
All right, everyone. So he did mention my two colleagues, Kramer and Andrew Romberger. Often when you see us at conferences, we are the trio. So three things I'm going to just mention about basically the state of Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and the importance of health and PE that probably many districts are experiencing yourself. One, community stakeholders, school leaders, families are recognizing the importance of daily quality PE. We're not the only ones lifting up this message. That is such a huge, huge win. Physical education, physical activity is not a break from learning. And number two, the importance of SEL. Look at my virtual background. Health and PE is social emotional learning. And in fact, you all know that we have been teaching social emotional learning, because it's embedded in our national health and PE standards, but the message is clear. We cannot meet the needs, all the social emotional needs of our students without meeting their physical needs. Again, we cannot meet the students' social emotional learning needs without addressing the physical needs. And then the third one, I'm going to end with this because this is what Candy family wants to, show you guys is your voice matters. We listen to more school board meetings. We listen to people speak in public forums. Advocacy matters. And I am a coordinator in a large urban school district, but I like to model and put myself in the shoes of my PE and health teachers. So throughout the pandemic, I decided, okay, I really had to level up my influence and really advocate through Twitter, social media, Instagram, blogs, and even podcasts. So I did start a Pizza and PE podcast, which, some of these honored guests, I might be calling on you. But a Pizza and PE podcast where I did have Chip Candy come on as one of our guests. And it was just to talk basically about PE while eating pizza. Very casual. And we talked anything about the impact of physical education, the role that the guest had in his or her career, etc., the importance of just physical education. And because of that advocacy and other initiatives and messaging and how I navigate through the political landscape in this large urban school district, I knew that my teachers were so hungry for new PE equipment. In fact, for years and years and years, my school district really starved. Actually, in my opinion, it was negligence, really starved PE teachers with a lack of PE equipment. So I finally was like, enough is enough. I don't have a large budget, even though we have, $1.6 billion instructional budget. When I did the math, I only got 0.012% of that each year. And I was like, that's malpractice. That's not right. So I really needed to throw it into my district leader's face. And so what I ended up doing was I created a huge spreadsheet. I can't share it with you right now, I don't think, but it is a huge spreadsheet. I asked PE teachers, give me an inventory of your PE equipment based on our district standards, meaning I have a list of equipment that every teacher should have to run an effective PE program. So I said, out of this 40, 50 items of PE equipment, how many cones do you have? How many half cones? How many 12-inch cones? How many bean bags? How many yarn balls? Do you have a 30-foot parachute? Do you have this? And what I ended up doing out of the 184 schools, I would show that if a school was below that district standard, that cell in that spreadsheet would turn red. So when I proposed it to my budget, this beautiful spreadsheet with all these red cells basically, shining in their face saying, they don't have it. They need this piece of equipment. And I estimated it to what the entire district needed to bring up to district standards, and the estimated cost came to $2.4 million. And I did not stop screaming that it is malpractice if we do not provide the necessary instructional resources for our teachers to do an effective job. We cannot expect our teachers to teach at a certain standard if we don't provide them with the necessary instructional resources. Well, guess what? I got it. $2.4 million. I got it at the end of the year. I was really busy in the month of June because it had to be spent before the next fiscal school year, which is July 1st. So I was really, really busy in the month of June, and we got $2.4 million. So my teachers are ecstatic. We cannot wait to connect again when we come back to school, building on the relationships. We're knocking down the barriers so that every teacher can deliver in a quality health and PE program. Chip, go for it.
I saw this spreadsheet. It was absolutely amazing. It was amazing. And the stuff, by the way, that they're doing, the brain body behavior or B3 program that they're doing, and active schools, this could go on for hours finding out what's going on in her district. It's just amazing. They're doing an amazing job. All right, last up, but definitely not least, we have Mr. Ben Landers. Ben's an elementary PE teacher. He's been in it since 2007. He's nationally board certified. He has 2 master's degrees. He's a clinical model teacher for the University of South Carolina. He runs the PE specialist website. So hopefully most of you have seen that already. He has 3 kids, 1 on the way. And as he said, he's married to a smoking hot wife. So I'm going to bring on Mr. Ben Landers. Now, Ben, what I'm going to ask you is one thing, and I know we're way up against the time here, but since I got on late, I'm sorry, and I apologize for that. You take your time here. You have set up this website, the PE Specialist, and it is being used. I know, like almost everybody I know has been on it. Like they've gotten resources. What are you doing with it? How are you doing it? Why did you start it? And what's going on with it? And then you can continue from there and do whatever you want, go anywhere you want. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, man. And props to all the other speakers. I love hearing y'all's quick highlights and everything. I took a bunch of notes. So originally I started the website as a way to just help people that were like me, kind of scratch my own itch, thinking if I had some resources where an experienced PE teacher had laid out, like, what does it look like to do this? What does it look like to do this? What does a unit of instruction look like in an actual real setting in an elementary school? I would have been a lot more successful. And so one of my superpowers is just not having any second thought about being on a video or being in front of a camera. And I'm have a pretty good experience with video editing. And so I started filming myself teaching and posting a lot of that stuff on YouTube. And I think the main, like my dream 6 years ago in 2014 when I started it is when somebody emails me a question about PE, I want to be able to send them to a video that explains it. And if the video takes 10 minutes or if it takes 30 minutes or if it's a podcast episode and it's me and my buddy Marcus breaking it down for an hour, I want to be able to provide them with an answer. And so like the idea, like when somebody sends me a question and I already have a resource for it, it gives me so much joy to be able to just direct them to the spot. And there's just a really long breakdown of exactly the answer to their question with every answer that they thought they had. And then even more ideas, it'll spark some more questions for them. And I got a lot of inspiration from people that were already doing it, like Joey and Chip, you and John and Artie and Chip. I've told Chip this, but when I saw him and John present for the first time, I went to my buddy Marcus, who if you guys follow the site at all, you know Marcus, he helps me with run the website. But I was like, dude, we need to be like Chip and John. Like that's what our goal needs to be. We want to teach for our career, build a bunch of resources, and then we could just retire and travel the country and go to all these conferences and share ideas with people. It's going to be awesome. Like, look how much fun they're having. They're tag teaming on these presentations. It looks awesome. So Chip was a part of the big inspiration for me as well. But the main idea was just to build a helpful resource and to be a leader in the field of PE. Chip said I had 2 master's degrees. I actually went back to get an admin degree thinking that I wanted to go into school leadership. And then I job shadowed my principal for a semester and quickly realized that that was not my calling and that I did not want to leave the gym. But I really did feel a passion to be a leader. And so I moved all that knowledge and that stuff that I was trying to do into the field of PE. And so that was kind of in a nutshell how it got all started. And 6 years running, I don't have any plans to stop. Just going to keep on rolling with it. So Usually people ask a question, we try to make a resource for the answer.
What's the website? Where can they go to get all this information? Because you got all kinds of stuff.
Just head over to the PEspecialist.com and you can search. There's a search bar. You can go to the resources page and see everything we've got. And we've got a lot of, I think we've got over 150 YouTube videos. So, and if you don't see what you need, then let us know and we'll make something else.
Yeah, and if you haven't been to his website, there's just so much stuff on there. Really, there's so much stuff, and watching him present is like, it's like magic. It's gold. You just sit back and go, okay, that's the way I want to teach. So, all right. So listen, I apologize for not being able to get on. I don't know what happened. I got sent the wrong one. I was actually in the session that was above mine. I don't know how I got in there. But it wasn't the session. So I had the wrong link the whole time. So I apologize. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to all of to everybody, to Wendy, Carrie, Ben, Mark, Kim, and Mr. Blackney. Thank you all for doing this. I saw a lot of friends from EPEW in there. Shout out to everybody. And I know some of you, are you guys still in Cal Poly? Yeah,
oh,
so
yeah.
Some of them, Kirsten and yeah, you guys are still in Cal Poly, which is kind of cool. They're spending their week here. Mike, are you still there too?
Oh yeah, buddy.
All right.
You gotta know it.
All right. So very cool. So it's really good to see all my crew from EPEW, and have a great rest of this session. And again, thank you everybody for joining in. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get to connect now live and in person next time. So thank you very much. Who's leading this thing now? Is anybody? I guess nobody. I guess everybody left us. Oh, Kayla, there you are. Are we done? Are we?
Yes. No, that was awesome. Thank you for being here and coordinating all of that.
Yeah.
And yes, if you needed the certificate of attendance, it's in the chat. And panelists, if there was any other information you wanted to share, you can drop that in the chat as well. And then all the resources can be shared to Jess on committee, and she'll make a awesome resource doc to share at the end. But thank you, Chip, for organizing this session.
Thank you, and hopefully this will stay open for a couple minutes if anybody wants to hang out and just say hello or ask any questions of the people who are on there. But thank you very much for having us. We appreciate it. This is kind of fun.
It was a blast.
Hey, Chip, it's good to see you again. It's Kim.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm good. You doing all right?
Yes, ma'am. Everything good?
Family doing good?
Yes, they are. Very good. Thank you.
I was wondering if you needed help getting the technology on.
I don't know what happened. I had the wrong site and I kept going on and it kept kicking me in. Even the numbers. First I hit the link and then I had the numbers, and I guess I don't know if it was one that was just bad, but I couldn't get into this one. I kept jumping into the other group and I did everything. I put in the numbers, I hit the link, I did everything, and it just wasn't working for me.
I'm gonna ask one more thing and I'm gonna jump off and let these people talk to you. Did you get some pictures?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Good job.
That was great.
See you later.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Who else is in here? Oh, we're missing some others. Erica, what's going on? How are you guys doing? You look like you guys were having some fun, huh?
Yes, we missed you at Firestone and Doc Bernstein.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. I saw people with those tri-tip salads, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get back out to Cal Poly.
I know.
What did you climb? It looked like you climbed. Where'd you go? Did you just hike the P, or where'd you go?
No, we went to
Madonna.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a great hike, isn't it?
Yeah.
That view
we
is
saw the
amazing.
P from the distance, so
Yeah,
that
view is awesome up there. It's so cool. Nice, nice. What's going on with everybody else?
Life, baby, life.
What are you up to?
Hey, I saw your boy Pat Vickroy. Had lunch with him last Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's doing great.
Where'd you guys have lunch? In his town?
San Juan Bautista. a Mexican restaurant there that he loves. So
Nice.
so it was cool. You know, yeah, we had a margarita or two.
Yeah. Mr. Garlic guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We tried.
Yeah,
I just
definitely.
I talked to him just a little while ago. Yeah. Very cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's Jim Ross?
He's good. You know, he just retired.
For the second time?
Yeah, this is it. He's done now. Administration, he's done. He's done and over. So yeah, he had last day. He turned 60 and he retired all in the same day. It was crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, he's retired, and I don't know. He might start doing some phys ed stuff again. I don't know. He's not sure. Right now, he's just going to travel and chill out for a while.
Right on. Right on.
Good idea. Good idea. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. You look good, man. You still running?
No, can't run anymore. I had some back surgery, but I can walk, I can bike, I can CrossFit, but I can't run anymore. Running is just done.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm good. What are you doing? You still working out?
Oh man, well, when I can, when I can, baby. You know, getting old is not for sissies, man.
I know. Erica, what are you doing now?
Same thing. Although I'm just like Michael, I'm like getting old and I'm like, man, I need to keep this up. I want to keep teaching. But the last 43 days, you know, when we went back to in person, I had so many families that wanted me to coach and, you know, run with their kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I had 20 girls and then I had about a dozen boys. But I was like, after I was like, oh my God, can I keep doing this?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but when you can't keep doing this, you can go teach at the university level where it's not quite the toll on your body.
Right on.
That was like, it was night and day.
Yeah. Hey, Carrie, thank you so much for your presentation, Carl. It was great.
Hey, Kim Morton, what are you getting ready for?
Boston, baby. Boston.
Yeah.
October 11th, everybody.
Yep, she's doing Boston Marathon, which is October 11th being the wrong time of the year, but it's going to be a cool time of the year.
It'll be epic.
Yeah.
Return.
Probably, I guess this is the first and only time they've ever not run it on Patriots Day, right?
That's right.
In a over 100-year history of the race, they're going to do a fall race for the first time ever.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
What's your long run right now?
I just did 14 the other day, so I'm climbing up.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 14 right now. You're pretty far out for 14. That's good.
Yeah, it dips back down at 10 and then I go right back. Then I climb 16, 18. It gets serious when you get to those 20s.
Yep.
That's when it's like, and it's hot right now.
Yeah.
So different.
I know.
Yeah.
We are getting hot and rain, and they're getting, the other side of the coast is getting hot and no rain at all.
Ben Landers, where are you in South Carolina? I didn't know you were in South Carolina.
Columbia.
You're so close to me.
I know. Yeah, we drive up to IKEA, just bought a house. We go to Charlotte. I got a lot of family in Charlotte.
Ben, next time you're here, okay, I'm going to email you. I'm going to give you my cell phone number and all that stuff. Text me, and I want to meet you, and I would love to come see you teach.
Sure, anytime. Come on down.
Definitely coming this year. Okay, I'm reaching out for sure.
All right.
Take him to that bar and get him whack.
That's right, I will. I'll do the beef on Weck and the Lebowski's, my Buffalo Backers bar. Oh, that's where I'll take you, Ben. We'll have some Labatt's Blue.
That sounds good.
Oh man. All right, Dr. Orendorf, let's ask you, how's your knee? Tell her what happened with your knee.
I finally had my knee replaced last summer, so I just had my 1-year checkup. I cannot believe the lack of pain in my life. To the point now I'm like, oh, I have a hangnail and it really hurts. Like before I'd be like, did your arm fall off? Okay, it's okay. I have so much other pain, I can't feel it. It's amazing. I couldn't, like, unreal. I was in a bit of a fender bender. And so my Jeep had to be in and out of the shop for the last 3 months. And I did try to ride a bike. And I haven't ridden a bike since I left South Carolina, which was 2 years ago. And I was like, it's like riding a bike. okay, that's the dumbest phrase ever. I thought I was going to die. I got passed by a beach cruiser. I was like, this is embarrassing. I can't do this. And I was at school. I'm like, my bike can petrify on campus. It's going to be one of those that just lives here. I don't even care what happens to it. But I did go out and buy an e-bike, and oh my God, changed my world. I bike everywhere now. It is the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
Hey,
Mr. Blackley, where are you?
Ben, well, hey, quickly, Ben, can you tell me your website again, man?
It's thepespecialist.com.
Okay, great. Hey, man, really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Blackley, are you out on your back porch?
That's exactly where I am, Chip. You ever been here?
No, you get the big dog with you?
Well, let's see. There they are, two of them. There's
There
one.
they go. There's my dog.
Where's the big one? She's around here somewhere.
Show them your backyard. Show them what's in your backyard.
All right. Didn't you have a hole-in-one out here one day?
Yeah, we were pitching now. I think we were only about 20 yards out. That's his backyard, huh? Not bad. The old golf course.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Kayla, how long are we allowed to stay on here? I guess we got to get off, huh? Or not?
I was going to give it till 11:05. So.
Okay. Well, that looks like we got about 30 seconds. All right. Well, listen, thank you, everybody. Hey, Wendy Halley, what are you doing these days? You still running? Unmute. Unmute, Wendy, unmute.
You know, the knees get old with the rest of me. So I've been doing more cross training and weightlifting than so much running. So, you know, that pavement's hard on the knees. So we've spent we visited 2 beaches this summer. So I gave up my 14ers this summer for a couple of beaches. So we'll get back to the 14ers next year.
Nice. How many 14ers have you done?
I've only done 2 14s. And then last year we did a loop that went to like 12.6. So this year we just laid in the sand and drank pina coladas instead.
What beaches did you go to?
We went to Fort Morgan and we went to South Padre.
Nice. I love Padre. That's nice, isn't it?
It wasn't a bad gig.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, we got to probably close out of here. We're well over our time. So thanks you, everybody. Appreciate it. Very nice of all of you.
Appreciate you, Kip. Appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, man. See you, Michael. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you for attending the 48th Annual Elementary Physical Education Workshop. We're glad you were here.
Please follow us on our social media platforms. EPEW can be found on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Please check out our website for links to more great sessions. Just go to epew-cp.weebly.com and click on the virtual EPEW 2021 tab at the top and scroll down.
EPEW 2021 Educators Assemble would not be possible without the support and dedication from the amazing EPEW committee. The committee has been hard at work for months preparing for this workshop. Thank you to Linda McGee, Barbara Gratton, Scott Wilson, Stephanie Sandino, Julie Miller, Jessica Monlux, Kayla Ailman, Shelby Lozano, Andrea Chavez, Scott Townsend, and Cindy Chase.
Thank you for attending EPEW, where our motto is, come to learn, leave as family.